This is the greatest flat racing showdown in the history of British horse racing. Frankel versus Brigadier Gerard. Section 3. Performance Ratings. Firstly, I would like to thank Timeform, the only ratings organisation with the longevity, credibility, experience and background required for this process. The two races we are going to review in this section are, reputedly, the best individual performances by these two great racehorses in their careers. For Frankel, that is the Queen Anne Stakes of 2012 at Royal Ascot, and for Brigadier Gerard, it is the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes 1972, also run at Ascot Racecourse. As you can see, the ratings calculations are self-explanatory. Frankel won the Queen Anne Stakes in 2012. He was a 4-year-old and he carried 9 stone in weight. He beat Indimito, also a 4-year-old, also carrying 9 stone in weight. Indimito was the horse selected by Timeform to calculate the rating of this race. Frankel beat Indimito by 12 1/4 lengths. Using an allowance of £2.5 per length, this equals £30.6. This was rounded up to £32, then added to Indimito's rating of 115, producing a rating of 147. This is the highest rating ever calculated by Timeform in over 70 years. Now compare this to Brigadier Gerard's rating in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes 1972. And for this I must once again thank Timeform for confirming this rating in their Racehorses of 2012, page 394. Brigadier Gerard, a 4-year-old carrying 9 stone 7 pounds, beat Sparkler, also a 4-year-old but only carrying 9 stone, by 6 lengths in course record time. Sparkler also broke the course record. Using the allowance of £2 per length, this equals £12. Add that to Sparkler's rating of 129 plus the £7 penalty Brigadier Gerard was carrying, and you'll have a rating of 148, putting Brigadier Gerard's rating £1 above Frankel's. But that is not all. I don't know if you noticed, but Frankel was given the larger allowance of £2.5 per length for beating Indimito, whereas Brigadier Gerard was only given a £2 allowance for beating Sparkler. That is unacceptable for a race run over the same distance and on the same racecourse. We have therefore recalculated Frankel's rating, and here we have it. Just replace the allowance of £2.5 per length to the correct allowance of £2 per length that Brigadier Gerard's rating was calculated by, and that gives you Frankel's true rating of 140. And here is an image showing the ratings in action, showing Brigadier Gerard easily beating Frankel by approximately 4.5 lengths. To summarise, these two races were rated through Indimito, who represented Frankel, and Sparkler, who represented Brigadier Gerard. Indimito ran 22 times, winning only once. His best group race form was a second place at Group 3 level in a 6-horse race in Germany. Sparkler, by comparison, was narrowly, possibly unluckily beaten in the Irish 2000 Guineas, and he was narrowly beaten in the St James's Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot, before adding the Lockinge Stakes, the Queen Anne Stakes and Prix Moulin, where he easily beat French 2000 Guineas winner and multiple Group 1 winner Calamoon, to his top-class successes. Of Sparkler, who was rated £14 above Indimito, Timeform wrote, "Sparkler won 13 races in 4 seasons, in each of which he showed high-class form." Now I don't know if any of you know, but the race you're about to see, the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot in 1972, was run just 2 days after Joe Mercer was involved in a serious plane crash. On the Sunday morning he was flying to Belgium with trainer Bill Marshall when, just after takeoff, the plane lost control, hit power lines and crashed. Joe was injured but helped the passengers out of the plane with the help of 2 schoolboys who were going fishing. Sadly, the plane caught fire before the pilot could be rescued. Looking at the wreckage, it was a miracle anyone survived. Though bruised and battered, Joe passed himself fit to ride Brigadier Gerard on the Tuesday, but the exertions took their toll. Joe told the press he was a passenger through the whole race, just going through the motions. On the walk back to the unsaddling enclosure, he nearly fell off. He was clearly unwell, collapsed in the weighing room, and never rode for the rest of the week.
Lord David's making ground on the rails on the far side on the left of the picture. That isn't Pembroke Castle making ground on the right. The 2-furlong marker now, and Brigadier Gerard comes to take it up from prominent. The crowd roaring already. Brigadier Gerard and Joe Mercer gone to the front now with less than up with inside the furlong marker, and it's Brigadier Gerard clear of Steel Pulse. Then comes Pembroke Castle, behind him is prominent, and toiling behind them is Lord David, racing up towards the line. Brigadier Gerard getting a storming reception from the Royal Ascot crowd. He's doing it again in brilliant style to come up and win his 13th successive race and to remain unbeaten. Brigadier Gerard the clear winner from Steel Pulse, second, and Pembroke Castle third.
The winning margin was 5 lengths, with the third horse a further length and a half away. And on ground that was just about perfect, he beat the course record by almost a second.
Brigadier Gerard is the only horse who can realistically be compared to Frankel. They ran in the same or similar races over the same distances and on the same racecourses. So it is a great pity that you are unlikely to see or hear his name mentioned very often, if at all, in the horse racing media.